am very excited as today we have been joined by two eminent ladies, Dr. Sena Afua Dei-Tutu, a lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Law, and Dr. Patricia Bosche, also a lecturer at the University of Passau. Ladies, welcome to the Digital Rights Africa podcast.
Thank you.
I am very excited to have you here, and I think this is one of the first times I'm going to have people from academia in this seat. So the reason I wanted to really have this discussion with you is because we believe at Africa Digital Rights Hub that academia will play a very significant role in the digital rights space in Africa. And so bringing you here today and knowing some of the work that you have been doing within your universities, I just wanted us to dig a bit more into what this role could look like in the future, what you're currently doing now, and how we can position academia to better improve the digital rights ecosystem in Africa. So I just want to start with you, Dr. Sena Afua Dei-Tutu, if you just come in here.
Okay, good afternoon to all your listeners and thanks for having me. Like you said, I'm from the University of Ghana School of Law, and in the past year we've realized that there has been a dearth of information when it comes to data processes and data protection and data information on the continent as a whole. So the university is looking to grow its research capabilities in that field. So what the University of Ghana School of Law did was to partner with the University of Passau, who already have an institution that works on data protection and digitalization. So we partnered with them, and what we did was to have 3 conferences that spoke to data protection generally with emphasis on Africa. So the first conference was in Passau in 2021, I believe. Yes. And we had the next one at the University of Ghana School of Law, and the next one is going to be in 2023. But after the conference at the University of Ghana, what we did was to set up a center on data protection and excellence for Africa. So what we at the University of Ghana School of Law are looking to do is to set up a center, which we have set up, of course, that sorts of brings together professionals from the continent to engage in research, publications, writings, to grow a center that addresses all issues of data on the continent that we realize are lacking. So we have a short-term, medium, and long-term plan. Short-term, what we're looking at to do is to organize training courses for professionals on the continent. Medium term, we're looking at running master's programs and exchange programs with students from different parts of the continent. And long term, we're looking at doing PhD programs with reference to other universities outside of the continent that have expertise, and then we sort of get their professionals to come to our school and also send our students out there to learn, so that in maybe 6, 7, 8 years' time, we'll have a nice cohort of experts on data protection in Africa, so that we won't be a continent that always receives, but also will have set up our own culturally specific data protection regulations and laws that will help us. So that's what we're doing now.
Thank you. Patricia, you are with the University of Passau. You're based in Germany. Germany has one of the interesting data protection ecosystem and a very vibrant one. Why are you choosing to do this? Is it because you are African, or what is the reason behind the work that you're doing, particularly with the University of Ghana?
As you say, first and foremost, I'm an African woman. I come from Tanzania originally, but I'm working in Germany at the moment in the Center for Law and Digitalization. And we are dealing a lot with research relating to data, digitalization, data governance. And during my teaching experience, we've realized that, and my also interaction with data protection authorities from my research, we realized that one of the imminent problems in Africa is capacity and skills. And so, as Dr. Sena Afua Dei-Tutu here explained, we came across and we decided, actually the idea came from them, from the University of Ghana School of Law, to have a center that will deal specifically in training, in building capacity in issues of digital economy, digital regulation, data protection, data governance, to be able to bring capacity into Africa from an African perspective. And so I'm here, I'm playing an ambassador role to Africa to be able to see that we have this space with the needed capacity, the needed skills to be able to drive the digital agenda forward.
All right, so this Center of Excellence is a very brilliant idea, but what would it take to really get it going?
It would take a lot of things, but finance is first thing. I mean, you can't do anything with nothing. So it's going to be a big financial investment, which as an academic institution, unfortunately, we do not have. So apart from the fact that we have the idea and we're looking to build the capacity, what we're looking at, or what you're looking for, are partners to help us in bringing to birth this great idea. So we've sent out proposals to different organizations and institutions that will be interested in partnering with us. We have partnered with the African Digital Rights Hub. We've partnered with the University of Passau. And so like I said earlier, we are looking for funding. And also we are looking to partner with other regulators across the continent, because like you know, Africa is made up of different countries. And should I say the fortunate or unfortunate thing is that the countries in Africa are compartmentalized. We have a Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone, and this all makes up Africa. So
then you add languages.
Exactly, you know. And the reality is that unfortunately some of the countries have better relationships with their, for want of a better part, colonial partners than they do their neighbors. So you have to deal with all those things. So we're looking for funding, we're looking for partnerships and relationships with other regulators, because without them, this will not happen.
Yeah.
We are in academia, we want to do something, but the reality on the ground is that if you don't get the policymakers and the politicians to go with you, your ideas will die right from the beginning. So we are partnering with those who have the funds, we are partnering with the regulators and the policymakers to ensure that this comes to birth.
So some people will say that, look, capacity is expensive, right? So if we're looking to train people in any of these data governance spaces, data protection, cybersecurity, they should pay for it. Are we at that place where there will be room for people to be able to pay for some of these training programs that you offer? Because even currently on the continent, there's very limited places to go to and then get, you know, the right kind of certification or training that is required. So is there room for people that can afford to do that, to pay for these things?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, we're looking at short-term, medium-term, long-term. And I guess what we're looking at right from the beginning is to offer short-term training courses. We don't want a situation where people are put off by the fact that they have to pay.
Yes.
So we are starting off initially by running short-term courses that are sort of free for now.
Because somebody else funds
Exactly.
it, so somebody supports the funding of those programs.
Exactly. And once we get our foot on the ground, then we can have different options where people fund people to come. If you have the ability to pay and you can pay, why not? We're looking at situations where a time will come, more short-term than long-term, where the different regulators will sponsor people from their countries to come to Ghana to do the training. So yes, for now we'll start with free courses, but of course they're not free because somebody's going to be sponsoring them. But we are looking at a situation where in the long term, people will pay for to come and do the courses. Like once we start doing the masters and the PhD programs, those will not be free unless you get sponsorship from someone, but then you pay to come. Yes.
Well, so yeah, that's very interesting. But I wanted to also find out from you, of course, both of you are situated within law schools and law faculties within your various universities. Are there plans to bring on board other disciplines? Because in this space, we know that there are other disciplines that are equally important in the development of the space. So what are the plans for that?
For us, the University of Ghana, what we're doing in Ghana first is to have conversations with the other universities that are running or that have shown some sort of interest in the whole data governance conversation. So there's one university out of the capital, Accra, that we're speaking to. And then within the University of Ghana also, there are different schools that are working with data in one form or the other. So we have sociology, we have engineering. So what we are planning to do really is, once we are nicely settled, I should say, I mean, they know about these programs, but we are going to invite them because, like you always say, I mean, when we talk about data governance, it's not just like the legal aspects. We have IT, we have engineering, we have all the technical people, and at some point we'll have to rope them in to ensure that what it is that we say we are offering is authentic, because we can't just talk about data governance and just talk about the legal aspects, because there's way more to data governance than just legal. So we are looking medium, long term to get School of Engineering, to get the IT department, sociology, all those people who in one way or another are working in the data governance space into our program. So for example, when we look at the master's program, for example, there'll be courses on different things, IT, AI, so that those who are studying will get to know about all these different components that come together to bring about data governance issues.
Yeah, but also at the same, speaking of the same point, is that we want this to be exactly what we call it, Center of Excellency, and that's why we expect to bring in different collaboration from different universities, bringing in different expertise. For example, from the University of Passau, for example, we have bachelor and masters in legal tech. And so this is a combination of law and data science. And we know, as you said rightly, that you cannot talk of data protection or data governance and focus on law itself only. There are so many facets that are involved. And in this case, we are thinking of having collaboration with different departments, different universities, not only the University of Ghana or University of Passau, but also universities across Africa, those who will be willing to partner with this Center of Excellency.
So we've spoken a lot about universities. Are there any plans to bring particular governments in, other civil society organizations, and what role can they play?
Yes, universities University of Ghana, we have MOUs with quite a few other universities. The University of Lagos, for example, we've started having the conversation with them. University of Pretoria. I mean, you see that for now we are focusing on the Anglophone because we need to get that before we move to the Franco and then the Luso. And then in terms of other organizations, the CSOs are critical, and we are looking at having a conversation with the African Union, Smart Africa, so that we get them on board to get this running, because like you know, if you don't get those who are interested or those who can make the decisions on your behalf a part of this plan, like I said earlier, it won't happen. So CSOs, RH, Smart Africa, the big organizations, Meta, Google. I mean, long term we will speak to them, but for now, we are you know, the Christian in me is talking about the fact that the Bible says that you should Jerusalem before you go to Samaria, or did I get it wrong?
I don't know that one.
You know, deal with the people within your locality before you go outside, right? Exactly. Yeah. So We are looking at working within Ghana, English-speaking West Africa, get the CSOs in our space that are part of this on our plane before we go further. So that's it, yes.
What timelines do you have currently?
Okay. So for the short term, we're looking at starting the program in January, the center, in January of 2023. So for short-term courses, etc., we're looking at doing this in an 18-month period. Okay. Then for medium term, to get the master's program and all that running, we need accreditation from what we, the accreditation department in Ghana. So we've come up with the courses we're going to run. We have to run it by them and have different meetings with them. So short term, we are looking 18 months, medium term, 3 to 5 years, long term, 5 to 10 years. So
you have any idea of what kind of funding, and I'm looking at the total African picture, what kind of funding we will require if we need to get this done?
Ooh. The whole of Africa you're talking, or?
Yeah. I mean, we have to dream big.
Yes,
so.
I agree. I'm dreaming so big it sounds unrealistic to me in my head. But if you're looking at these things cost money. Short term, not the whole of Africa. Short term, English-speaking West Africa, even the 3 universities, 3 countries, $5 million. Medium term, once we start running programs, people, I don't know, looking for scholarship funding, you help me. How much are we talking? 10 million? Long term, the whole of Africa, ooh, $50 million? I don't know.
Maybe we have to beg our governments to find resources, if you're listening to us, to really build this ecosystem to make sure that we have the right resources. Patricia, any parting words on what we should be doing to gear up? And, you know, because I know people will be interested in finding out where to go to, you know, get more information, especially because by January, we're starting off with something. So where can they come to? And then Patricia will give us her closing.
The University of Ghana School of Law website.
Okay.
I was trying to remember it off the top of my head.
No, that's fine,
Yeah,
but they can Google it
Yes.
and find the website
Yes.
and then
Information
find
will be
out
there.
what programs are there.
Yes.
And they should be able to also find numbers online
yes.
to call you. All right, Patricia.
From here, I must say, I think the only way is to get ready, to get prepared. We say brace yourself, because the Center for Excellency is coming, and we expect and we are hopefully that this center is going to bring changes in capacity buildings, in data governance and regulation in Africa. And so we're very hopeful.
I'm very excited, as I said from the beginning. She's saying that we should be prepared and we should get ready. And I think I want to sign off on that note. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. I'm sure we'll come back again after the center has kicked off to really understand what is happening there soon. Thank you once again for joining the Digital Rights Africa podcast, where we talk about everything data governance, privacy, intellectual property rights, child online protection, and cybersecurity issues in Africa. My name is Teki, your host. Join me some other time. Thank you.